Fell Burgundy Iris or Moses Cleveland's Canterbury Tales, Book 9, line 1605. Her humor thus indeed had fled, a giant shadow loomed ahead, intimidating height of paces 3. But fell fate nae to pay a call, came whispering hiss in furlbog drawl, but Morpheus the giant shadow be. Her mind bewildered with the cant and furlbog tongue, the hissing rant, conveying temerity remiss. But for her ears did he but speak, in high-pitched whispers did he squeak, the temor in his tempo, hard to miss. And thus behooved she heard a shriek, receding from the gnome did speak, but racing to discern her mind what of the giant spew, but racing to translate again, to miss the gnome, but for to spend a fitting end for her to send, the giant thus humbly withdrew, to fetch a rope, but from his pack the bouncing gnome indeed to lack, had tumbled she indeed to plead, the rocky bottom thus to find, the rocky bottom to forego, or pitch and muck that sucks to know, wherever she the gnome but be, in peril footfalls nae to mind. Alas, the toad-brained Janus fell, the lizard's heart and tongue to sell, to let her go from heart and mind, a coward craven by design, and ran there to misconstrue, wrong conclusions indeed he drew, what oath to goad indeed but sold, a feller froth to read the dross inclined, a feller froth in furlbog tongue, but trolls were named with mischance none, with trolls to mind and indeed find, as well become a certainty perhaps to know how soon to be, or thus forego, the lizard's heart indeed be down, a fallen prize in escrow be, a fallen prize for to contest, if fallen she into a nest of hungry trolls, indeed to vest, what gift to fall from God above, a pardon nay which for to beg, of cake knots nay an arm or leg, of famished trolls nay for to beg, to peel her first indeed with love. For trollkin rinds of gnome but be culinary delicacy, when dipped in spleen or brain de jour, though of that fate would she abjure. For crackling rinds on cooking rock, hobgoblins nay gnome rinds, for crackling rinds on cooking rock, hobgoblins nay gnome rinds to mock, and goblins thus would eat their fill, fired by drake and flayed with bill. She flensed indeed, but like a whale, ashamed to eat such skin so pale, but crackling rinds of gnome tasty, when fried in lard, garlic, and dill. The tongue of gnome a sandwich be, it served on bread stale and moldy, a fate thus earned for not to be, a rope thus cinched for to anchor. A rope thus found the giant bound, a rope around his waist was wound, an anchor thus he weighed a ton, with Catania already climbing down. But lost to view the giant be, the ground below but yet to see, she ready for to climb back up, were she to find not solid ground. What yanks to draw the rope thus clear, on solid ground not yet to fear, it's spongy though with not much give, the gnome thus be but yet to live. It possible but for to find the fallen gnome with intact rind, with trolls nearby for to harass, with trolls nearby for to harrow, credence for to give, the credence of expedience, but expedited to events, experience to tell of what fell designs malefic wrought, malefic bold to be evinced, a glance above Catania winced, no shade or shadow for to warn, as down came Rand, the rope thus worn around his waist, by giant lowered with some haste, no shade or portent from above, the shadows cast within, the mist withdrew. Taken aback she stepped aside, for fell the upstart Rand abide, down he came and down to go, the loop uncinched to raise anew. A thought occurred that brought a smile, to yank the rope indeed with guile. The loop thus lowered round his legs, around his neck, but for to beg, she careful not to yank the rope, but premature, what neck to grope. For should they be beset by trolls, his dueling skills, they for to beg. His dueling skills of yet to beg, he from the loop removed his legs. A code of Yanks Catania drew, the rope in kind, for thus indeed was played. Played thus rightly it arose, the giant hesitant for nay to pose. For glamour shots befit he not, to look the part no need, he nay to stray. The clamour though did thus arise, for up above for to apprise, a din and clamour fell to want, its volume rising as the rake descended. What vapours rising in the fog, what mists enshrouding for to log, what movement there within the bog, but for the dotard's docent pedagogue to end. Too late she knew by all the signs the dotard's dotage by design, nay to lament his disposition she, nor to disclose where her position be. By night to hunt were trolls inclined, to sleep by day 'twas their design, to amble forth with wits askew, to rival Janus in irritability. To rival Janus in irritability. Though toe-brained dotard hung up his gear, for to express his dotage with no fear, as silently she fought the loop to free, but loath to yank the rope to message giant up above to be, was she. But no, not that, 'twould be worse, for curses stifled, but for her bleeding lips to nurse. Fought she the loop to free the rake anew, the toad-brained Janus silent near to be.